And this one is my own personal pick of the week. And I always love to see when my own personal pick is completely different than what the Discord selects, because this one got only 6 votes. And whenever I see this, I just always feel like this is my opportunity to prove to you why this game deserves your attention. And the first thing I want to say on that is that this is a campaign style game, but it's unlike anything that you've ever seen before, and it makes use of a component that I've never seen done in board gaming, and it also does it in a way that looks really, really fun. But before I scare you away with that campaign game tag, don't worry, there's not a whole bunch of miniatures and a massive 20,000 hour campaign for this one. This one looks really accessible, and it doesn't have an anxiety-inducing amount of components to go along with it. And something that you may not expect is that at the core of this game, it is a word game. But the way that this game works is at the start of each chapter, you're going to be using something known as the Grid of Destiny. And there's a whole bunch of these offered in the game, and you only use each one once as you move through the campaign. And in fact, this does have a little bit of a legacy element because you can only use each of these once. Because similarly to a lottery ticket, you're actually going to be scratching off sections of these boards in order to reveal different words and letters and icons that could help or harm you throughout the game. But on the backs of each of these grids of destiny, it's going to provide dialogue to move you along with the story, and it's also going to give you a goal that you and the fellow players are trying to achieve, because this one is a cooperative game. And this will usually start you out with scratching out a section of the board that's marked with these arrows. And whenever you are able to scratch out an entire word that you're able to read, you'll know indeed that this is the full word, because they use horizontal and vertical lines to mark the end and start of each word. So whenever you see both of those with a complete word, you know that you've scratched the entire thing. And when you do scratch out a full word, you're going to take the first 3 letters and then find the card that matches those letters. And these could do different things like introduce new characters, which also come with their own words of power, that if you're able to find other words on the board that share those letters, you're going to be crossing off those letters in order to unlock special abilities. Or instead of introducing a character, these could do other things like introduce a riddle card where players are going to be trying to guess a specific word, and you can use clues to help gain letters towards that word, but those do come at a cost. And of course, once you think that you've guessed that word, you'll be able to scratch all the letters to reveal the actual word, and if it matches up with what you've guessed, then you'll be rewarded for that, and if not, you will be penalized. But the nice thing about getting characters is that for each character, you're going to be getting an action board and some associated action tiles. And each tile is going to count as a single action. You'll be able to put that out on the board. You'll be able to scratch all the letters, extending it from a word that you've already solved, and using those tiles of different lengths to try and reveal more letters that might help you find other words that you're looking for, or to try to complete words in the spots that you think a word might exist. And once you've completed all your actions, time moves forward, which is represented by scratching one of these squares in the line of tragedy. And each time that one of these gets scratched, it's going to reveal some sort of negative penalty that is going to come into effect that might limit your actions or harm the players in some way. And once you've scratched all of them and you get to the end and there's no more left to scratch, you're just going to be losing victory points for each additional line of tragedy that should have been scratched beyond that. And there are many other ways that you'll be scratching these lines of tragedies throughout the game. But in deducing where those words might be on the board and then discovering those words, you're going to have that excitement of discovering more of the story, or discovering new opportunities or items or characters, or even some smaller quests along the way that'll help you reach your main goal. Players are going to be getting victory points depending on how well they're able to do all this, and these are going to be tallied up across the different chapters that you play, and the score that you get on each of these and at the very end is going to be an indicator of how well you performed on the game. And if you are even just mildly interested in what I've presented to you so far, I highly recommend checking out the video by Rolling Solo, because they give you a really good understanding of how the game plays with some examples and tutorials. And there's a lot more to this game than what I can cover in just the few minutes here, so definitely check out that video. And of course, you can sign up to the campaign to get notified on launch if you want to find out more when the campaign actually launches. And you can find links to the campaign in the description below.